Hi, I'm Sydney, and I'm really scared right now. Okay. So, I'm drawn to art because it allows me to thoroughly and honestly process my experiences. I think about art as deconstructing and reconstructing. It's about taking something big and complicated and pulling it apart, testing it in different ways until you understand it better or differently than before. That's the deconstruction. Reconstruction is choosing the right metaphors and symbols, styles, and aesthetic to put together what you discovered. Another thing I love about art is the freedom to do all of this. The freedom to think, feel, and understand completely honestly just for myself and in my own time, free from expectations. I think the best way to explain what I mean by expectations is to talk a bit about my experience, and this is also because I love oversharing. So, I have bipolar 2 disorder. I was only diagnosed recently, but I was diagnosed with depression years ago after some difficult events, and my parents noticed how I wasn't getting out much, and I wasn't as happy as I had been, and I had started cutting myself. I had a lot of reasons: temporary relief from depression, punishment, to feel something that I knew was real. That addiction started when I was 13, which was 3 years ago. I fight both habit and impulse every day, but so far I've been doing pretty well. The self-harm in itself was a bit like my thinking process. It was deconstruction and reconstruction, harm and healing. It was also the freedom to feel honestly. I had questioned myself for a long time, the legitimacy of my pain and of my happiness. My first girlfriend, my best friend, my mom, along with my dog, had moved away, but that's so long ago that I should be over it. I struggle a lot with my gender and identity, but that's what being a teenager is for. So it sounds like I'm saying I have a terrible life, but I'm not. I'm really happy, and there are people who love and support me. But in some of these experiences, I've been rushing to be better because I felt like I should be. Because I doubted my own experience, and I let others doubt me. Even in my diagnosis of depression, I hid my hypomanic phases because if I told anyone, it would mean I wasn't depressed, which turned out to be true, but in my mind it meant that I was a fake. I think of my bipolar diagnosis as a step towards honesty, despite what others might think. Back to my point, when I was feeling fake, physical pain made me feel like I had a valid reason for needing help and reminded me that I was real. When you have a physical wound, it hurts, you clean up the mess and let it heal. Nobody was surprised that it was painful. Art making is a healthier process for sure. I think it also works better long term. I've been working through and understanding experiences with my family, identity, relationships, and mental illness. And I wouldn't say anything is resolved, but I come away with a better understanding. All said, art isn't perfect. Like most things in my life, we have a love-hate relationship. There's no expectation when I make art. It's something I do for myself. It's the freedom to feel, try, and experiment. By choosing to share with others, I make myself vulnerable, and that's how it brings me closer to other people. I often find myself stuck in the idea part and not making, or wasting time comparing myself to others. Despite all of this, art has made a lasting effect in my first 16 years, so I think it will always somehow be part of my life. The main point I'm trying to make is that I need space to work on myself. I tend to feel things at extremes, being bipolar and being me. But this is my place to work on myself and to be okay with being selfish. I can take these terrifying, amazing things in my life and come to understand them. I need this space to grow, to feel valid, and hopefully I can use this to help other people like me. Thank you.